Good evening, everyone. If you can hear my voice, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to the Board of Aldermen meeting in the City of Town and Country, Monday, December 14, 2020. If you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic in which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible.
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
Thank you, everyone. Again, welcome. Our meeting is hereby called to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Allen.
Here.
Alderman Benegas.
Here.
Alderman Fauci.
Here.
Alderman Holman.
Here.
Alderman Hughes.
Here.
Alderman Mortland.
Here.
Alderman Wiesehan.
Here.
And Alderman Whitmire.
Here.
Mayor Dalton is presiding, and we do have a quorum via video conference.
Thank you, ma'am. The minutes from our meeting of November 23rd have been distributed to and considered by the board. I'll now entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Alderman Allen moves
Second.
approval, seconded by Alderman Moreland. Discussion regarding the minutes. Seeing none, those minutes will stand approved as written and distributed. We are on the topic of hearing from citizens. This affords everyone in the community the opportunity to bring matters of interest or concern to the board. Given our format for meeting, this needs to be done in writing, and apparently we have some comments, or at least one comment this evening. Madam Clerk, would you note that for the record, please?
Yes, sir. I will be entering one email into the record for this specific agenda item, hearing from citizens. The email is 2 pages from Elizabeth Schweppe, and it will be attached to the minutes as well.
Thank you. We have no public hearings on our agenda this evening, no appointments from me to announce, and we are now on the topic of communications and reports. Before I start recognizing our commission chairs, I would like to take the opportunity to thank each one of you for your leadership of your respective commissions, and all of the members of those commissions for their service in support of this community. This year, more than others, we have relied upon the wisdom and the sound direction from our commissions, and your leadership and the staff support that you get enables those bodies to deliver sound advice to us, to this board, to my office, and to the City Hall staff that we can act upon. And we've all been made better by virtue of that input. The floor is open for commission reports. Alderman Fauci.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to report that the Planning and Zoning Commission will be meeting this week on Wednesday, December 16th. We'll be meeting via Zoom at 7 p.m. We have 2 items on our agenda. The first, both are zoning text, well, one's a zoning text amendment and one a subdivision text amendment. The first regarding exterior lighting on residential properties, and the second regarding the regulations for grading and fill for new homes. So please tune in if you have the opportunity, and if you have any questions or comments or concerns regarding either of those zoning text amendments, just let me know in advance. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Further reports. Alderman Whitmire.
Mr. Mayor, the Conservation Committee met a week ago today and talked about implementing the TerraCycling program once again, and then talked about our priorities for 2021.
Thank you, sir. Further reports. Alderman Hughes. You're on mute, ma'am. Still on mute. There you go.
Thank you. Remember, I love technology. With that said, the Arts and Culture Commission met this week via Zoom, and we have everyone is going to give us some ideas for next year. We're going to come up with an annual planning calendar. They want to continue to do the concert series. They still are interested in the art, wine, and music, but that's on hold. They would like to continue with Sculpture on the Move and the bedtime stories. And then it was proposed that we might want to do a scavenger hunt. And so there are other ideas that will be coming forward. And our next meeting is on January the 13th of 21 from 6:30 to 7:30 via Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you. Reports. Alderman Allen.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to announce, and I was watching Alderman Mortland because we co-chair this Fire and EMS task force, and we will have a Zoom meeting Thursday, the 17th at 4 p.m.
Thank you. Thank you for your leadership, you and Alderman Mortland, of that very important task force. It is one of the most significant budget items that we have, and it's also one of our most important public safety services. So we rely on your good leadership and guidance. Further reports? Seeing none, we'll continue with our agenda. We are on the topic of unfinished business. It's item number 1, bill number 20-57, sponsored by the board as a whole. I recognize that, or I hope I can see Mr. Miller, Robert Miller. There he is. I see him. Is here on specialty awning to answer any questions, but the matters before the body, without objection, where City Clerk, please read that bill for the second time.
Bill number 2057 is an ordinance approving a conditional use and authorizing a conditional use, and authorizing an amendment to the conditional use permit originally granted to Katie's Pizza and Pasta Osteria by ordinance number 4041 for outdoor dining located at 14171 Clayton Road in the city of Town and Country.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Alderman Fauci
Second.
moves approval, seconded by Alderman Venegas. The bill 20-57 is before the body. Discussion. Seeing none. Again, Mr. Miller, thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Vote side.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Venegas,
Aye.
and Alderman Whitmire.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4397.
Thank you. We are on item number 2. It's bill 20-58, co-sponsored by Alderman Fauci and Alderman Weezahan. On the phone with us this evening is Mr. Staley, I believe. There, I see him now. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your participation this evening. Without objection, our city clerk, please read that bill for the second time.
Bill number 2058 is an ordinance approving a conditional use and authorizing a conditional use permit for an accessory structure, a children's playhouse, located at 1669 Mason Knoll Road in the city of Town and Country.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Alderman Fauci moves approval. Is that Gainey second?
Second. Second.
It does. Alderman Weezahan seconds the motion. The matters before the body. Alderman Fauci.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose a substitute bill for this matter. It will be substitute bill 2058, making several changes, including lowering the structure from 23.5 feet in elevation to 10 feet in elevation, a reduction in 13.5 feet. Additionally, there will be changes to 2 conditions. The first is G. Landscaping shall be installed as shown on the landscape plan, as opposed to just specifying a specific number of trees. They've actually worked with someone and created a landscape plan that will work in that particular location of their yard. And adding condition I. Should any lighting be utilized in conjunction with the playhouse, all illumination will be extinguished no later than 9 p.m.
Thank you, ma'am. The substitute's been offered. Does that, and she's moved approval. Does that gain a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Weezahan. The substitute is before us. Discussion. Alderman Fauci seeking recognition.
Mayor, I'd like to offer an amendment to the substitute.
Take your amendment, please.
Under condition H, no electrical, permanent lighting, or plumbing shall be installed in the treehouse. The amendment would be then adding the words, except for safety lighting on the stair tread risers.
Thank you. Motion's been made to amend the substitute as stated. Does that motion gain a second?
Second.
It does by Alderman Weezahan. Discussion regarding the amendment. Seeing none, all the opinion that amendment should be adopted, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any of the contrary opinion, nay. The ayes have it. The amendment's adopted unanimously. Further discussion on the substitute. Seeing none.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Whitmire.
so we're talking about the general motion on the table at this point, right?
We're talking about the amendment. I'm sorry, we're talking about the substitute that's been offered
As it's been amended.
as amended.
So this is our final opportunity to speak to this motion. Is that correct?
No. Once the substitute is adopted, we will be on the bill and there will be a final opportunity to speak to it.
Thank you for that clarification.
Further discussion on the substitute. Seeing none, all the opinion of the substitute should be adopted. Please signify by saying aye.
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 The contrary opinion, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. We are on the bill as substituted and amended. Alderman Whitmire.
Mr. Mayor, I oppose this conditional use permit. I don't believe that this proposal meets the standards set in items 3 and 6 of our laws regarding conditional use. And I'd like to detail that out a little bit, if I may.
Please proceed.
One or two highly impacted neighbors matter. A commissioner at Planning and Zoning questioned trying to address a single neighbor's complaint when 8 or 9 people were in support of it. In this case, the neighbor expressing concern is immediately adjacent to the property and will bear the greatest burden. Their concerns regarding the site conditions are enormously important and should take precedence over the thoughts of those who are hundreds of yards away. We are encouraging them in this case to compromise. And I ask, well, shouldn't the zoning regulations keep these people from having to compromise their values? Isn't that what the code is for? Secondly, the mass of this structure remains very large. It is nearly 3 times the mass of a children's playhouse as permitted in our code. I know it's been downsized significantly, but it remains very large. Children's playhouses normally are scaled in a very different size, and the total building height of this building at this point is still very large. And then lastly, the site has topography issues. There's a severe elevation change to the south of this structure. The ground falls another 8 to 10 feet from the base of the planned footing to the adjacent neighbor's yard. With the height of this deck, its ledger board is at the height of the neighbor's roof line. So if you were to eyeball that ledger board, it goes right to their roof line. Even with this change, this structure will tower over that place. And then lastly, planting trees and bushes to hide this will not help. Our code calls for all above grade accessory buildings to be landscaped with evergreens to break the outline. Most of the trees planted in this plan will be on the perimeter of the property, not immediately adjacent to the building. And with the tree canopy that exists, the few adjacent bushes that are called for in the plan will likely not grow or die. There is nothing remotely like this structure in the vicinity of the neighbor of the house. So as I said, I oppose it. The 2 points that I'm pointing to are that, one, it will adversely affect the visual coherence and predominant usage and the development character of the adjacent neighborhood. And two, it cannot be developed and operated in a manner that is physically and visually compatible with the permitted uses in the surrounding areas.
Thank you, Alderman Whitmire. Appreciate your very substantive comments. Further discussion? Seeing none. Oh, Alderman
Mayor?
Fauci. Alderman Fauci, then you, Alderman Benegas.
Mayor, thank you. I do just want to point out there, of course, has been a substantial reduction, but I also want to point out that where we're talking about scale 3 times as big, you know, our children's playhouses have a maximum of 50 square feet without a CUP. This is 100 square feet, which is, of course, twice the size that does not need a CUP. However, it doesn't mean that it's against our code. It just means it requires a conditional use permit. And then the maximum height is standard 8 feet, and this one is 10 feet, a significant reduction from the 23.5 feet. And again, I agree, it's difficult for neighbors to compromise. And often, you know, these compromises don't work out this way. In this case, both neighbors have worked together, and I think very well. The neighbor in the adjacent property has certainly made a number of compromises, but also is working very, very well with the neighbors in order to come up with a reasonable proposal that satisfies both. And I think that type of neighborly communication goes a long way in our city to ensure that projects like this can be accomplished with friendliness, neighborliness, and a desire to ensure that all parties are satisfied.
Alderman Benegas.
Thank you, Mayor. I support Alderman Whitmire's concerns and his interpretation of the CUP. I think he raises a great question as to should the neighbor have to compromise? And so I have talked to the neighbor. I know the neighbor has compromised, but that question sticks with me, Alderman Whitmire, is that should they have to? And I think that from your reading of the CUP, that indeed the neighbor should not have to compromise this. The ordinances should protect them from this kind of thing. So I support this concern, and I appreciate you bringing it up in the fashion that you did, Alderman Whitmire.
Further discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Staley, thank you for your participation this evening. We appreciate your patience and your working through the process with the city. It is our objective to, as stated by both aldermen, well, all members of the board, that we respect the concerns from all interested parties, and I believe that has been attempted in this instance. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Ma'am, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Nay.
Alderman Benegas,
Nay.
Alderman Whitmire,
Nay.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
and Alderman Mortland.
Aye.
The bill passes 5-3 as substituted and amended and becomes ordinance number 4398.
Thank you, everyone. Again, Mr. Staley, appreciate your participation in the process. Congratulations. We are on item number 3. It's Bill 20-59, co-sponsored by Alderman Fauci and Alderman Holman. Without objection, our city clerk, please read that bill for the second time.
Bill number 2059 is an ordinance amending Title 4, Chapter 405, the zoning regulations of the Town and Country Municipal Code, specifically by the amendment of Section 405.080, definitions, Section 405.630, conditional uses, and Section 405.655, off-street parking and loading requirements regarding the establishment of pet daycare regulations.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Alderman
Second.
Fauci moves approval, seconded by Alderman Holman. Discussion. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
and Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4399.
Thank you. We're on item number 4. It's Bill 20-60, co-sponsored by Alderman Fauci and Alderman Holman. Mr. Weichel is participating with us via Zoom this evening. Welcome, sir. Thank you for your continued interest in Town and Country and for your working through the process with us. Without objection, would City Clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2060 is an ordinance approving a conditional use and authorizing a conditional use permit for a pet daycare, Dogtopia, located at 13933 through 13939 Manchester Road in the city of Town and Country.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Fauci moves approval, seconded by Alderman Holman. The bill's before the body. Discussion. Alderman Whitmire.
Thrilled to see this business wanting to come to Town and Country. I would like to hear from someone talking about the next door tenant, who I believe is a learning center that might be very, what's the word I'm looking for, affected by noise. And I know a large noise abatement plan is underway to help with that, but just wondered if someone has spoken to that tenant.
Alderman Holman, do you have information on that subject, ma'am?
Well, is Mr. Spencer on tonight?
Mr. Shelton, do you want to?
Because I did have this exact conversation with Mr. Spencer, and he did contact the owner of the building, and he talked to the tenants that own Kumon. Kumon is excited and to have their neighbors and satisfied with the sound materials that they're placing between their 3 locations and the Kumon structure. But Mr. Spencer would be able to speak to this in detail.
Mr. Shelton, the floor is yours, sir.
Yes, Mayor, appreciate it. And I would like to turn it over to Mr. Spencer, who is
He
on
is here.
tonight.
I'm hiding. Yeah, you kind of stole my thunder there, Alderman Holman. You're absolutely right. My understanding is that everyone is satisfied, and Zach Weichel, the owner, has spoken that he before, at least at Planning and Zoning, that he always reaches out very early on and keeps open lines of communication with his adjacent neighbors, with the understanding that any issues that may be raised are properly addressed. So he may actually have some further enlightenment on this matter now that contracts have been signed and so forth. So,
Mr. Weichel, that speaks highly of you and your organization for your approach taken to entering into the community. We welcome you here and completely respect that sort of outreach. Do you want to comment on the Alderman's question?
Absolutely. So finished up signing the lease for the space, grabbing the keys this week, and we'll be heading over to talk to the owner of the Kumon Mass Center. With the existing Dogtopia location at St. Peter's, our adjacent tenant is Great Clips, and I know the franchisee owner and the manager and the staff there, and we have an open line of communication as far as helping each other, being on the same page, and anytime there's anything that they need from us, they come in and ask us. Their dogs stay with us when they go on vacation, so it's a community, I would say. So happy to do the absolute same thing with the Kumon Mass Center as well, too.
Terrific. Thank you. Alderman Whitmire, does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Holman, and Alderman Benegus.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4400.
Thank you. Congratulations again. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Alderman. Thank you, Mayor.
We are on item number 5. It's Board Bill 20-61, sponsored by the board as a whole. It is our city budget, and without objection, would the city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2061 is an ordinance approving the budget and authorizing budgeted expenditures for the budget year beginning January 1, 2021.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Allen moves approval, seconded by Alderman Benegus. The bill is before the body. Discussion. Seeing no. Alderman Whitmire.
Mr. Mayor, as I indicated to you in our working session, I will not stand in the way of this budget being approved as presented. I will point out that about a month ago, I indicated to you, our city administrator and our finance director, that the planned spending from the general fund, I thought should be lower than, or at least the very least no higher than what we will likely spend in 2020. Given our circumstances, one would expect the spending cuts implemented in 2020 to remain and budgets to reduced further through service contracts and renegotiations and so forth. I indicated that I really don't support a wage increase in these difficult times, but I did strongly respect the planned staffing action that despite that wage increase keeps the overall effect on the salary budget to less than 0.5%. I suggested that we try and take other actions in that way, delaying hires or whatever to further reduce that effective change to zero. But, then I offered to go without my pay and urge my other aldermen to do the same to try and achieve that number. But that said, these suggestions weren't adopted, but that said, I will not stand in the way of this and will vote for this budget as presented.
Thank you, sir. You did bring those comments to my attention. We had a very good conversation. I respected your point of view and I appreciated your approach. Further discussion regarding the budget. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Votes aye.
votes aye. Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
and Alderman Weezahan.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4401.
Thank you. We are on item number 6. It's Bill 20-62, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, will the city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2062 is an ordinance regarding the rate of compensation for employees of the city of Town and Country and repealing ordinance number 4332.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Allen. Does it gain a second?
Second.
Alderman Mortland, discussion. Alderman Hughes.
I think this question has been asked previously, but I thought it behooves me to ask it again. How do city salaries compare with other like municipalities?
Wow, that is a very broad question. We have strived over many years to make sure that we properly compensate those that serve this city, and by doing so, we wanted to make sure we are at or above our peer cities, because we consider that to be the standards that we hold in Town and Country. Mr. Shelton, do you want to speak to this more specifically?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, it's an excellent question, and we do check with our peer cities on salary surveys to be sure for comparable positions that our employees are within the range of our peer cities. We also check on comparable employees to be sure those employees within the city doing similar types of work are compensated on a fair basis compared to their coworkers here with the city.
Thank you.
It is a good question. We have done extensive research. Those that have been around a few years know former city administrator Holzer was the master of the matrix, and he really dove into graphically showing where our employees fell on that scale. And we worked over time to, if we were below where we wanted to be, to get those up. And you can't do it all in 1 year, given the way city government revenues flow, but we were committed to doing so. And I believe we are where we want to be, but there's always more work to be done. So we have the best of the best here, and our goal in setting compensation is to make sure we keep them and reward them appropriately. Further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
and Alderman Fauci.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4402.
Thank you. We're on item number 7. It is Bill 20-63, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, please read that bill for the second time.
Bill number 2063 is an ordinance accepting the bid and authorizing an agreement with Gamma Tree Experts for 2021 on-call tree trimming and removal services.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved.
Alderman Holman moves approval. Does that gain a second?
Second.
Does by Alderman Mortland. Discussion. Alderman Whitmire.
Mr. Mayor, I was wondering if we could ask the city administrator to describe how we proactively manage our costs that occur under these contracts.
Thank you. And that's an excellent question. And it goes to not only this matter, but a number of our service contracts. And Mr. Shelton, will you speak to that generally?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, members of the board, as you'll note, agenda items 7, 8, 9, and 12 with Gamma Tree, HR Green, T Hill, and Gerstner Electric are all for on-call services. And so these have specific unit pricing, which the city staff has bid out. Prior to any work being done, the city staff initiates all of this work. Tim Randick, Tom Thousand, they specify this, then request this work and oversee it specifically. So we also have set budget limits for each of these contracts that they cannot exceed. On agenda items number 10, 11, and 13 with Greenwood Group, Corvus Janitorial, and America's Parking and Restriping for our roadway restriping. These are for specific scope of service, set price, competitively bid, and I would commend the city staff on this particular set of projects and bids that for the most part, they're all at or below. And specifically the Greenwood Group is more than $24,000 below last year. So it's an excellent point. These are managed not only by having a contract, but by having specific unit prices and the staff overseeing these.
Excuse me.
This is a testament to your leadership, Mr. Shelton, and that of your staff or your team that that secures these services and oversees them. There are a lot of our peer cities that wish they had an operation similar to ours, particularly in these tough budget times, because we are well served by the way we do business. Alderman Whitmire.
So, Mr. Mayor, that was very helpful. I was wondering if we could ask the administrator to talk to one example, just as an example, the gamma tree arrangement. I think that's based on the caliber of the tree or whatever. Could you tell us what's done in advance and what agreements are made to avoid surprises?
Please proceed, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Yes, so specifically, the staff will identify oftentimes with a resident concern. Many of these are right-of-way trees in the neighborhood, and determine what needs to be done with the tree. We rely on a arborist if need be, and specific set price based on the square inch, as you said, the caliper, the stump grinding, the size of the stump, all predetermined, and the staff goes out and marks these trees, and then we'll follow up and review to be sure the work was properly done.
Excellent question, and I appreciate your thorough response, Mr. Shelton. Further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Bennegus,
Aye.
and Alderman Mortland.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4403.
Thank you. We're on item number 8 on our agenda. It's Bill 20-64, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would our city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2064 is an ordinance authorizing a professional services agreement with HR Green, Inc. for 2021 on-call engineering services.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved.
Motion
Second.
been made and seconded. Discussion? Seeing none. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
Alderman Bennegus,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
and Alderman Allen.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4404.
Thank you. Item number 9 is Bill 20-65. It's sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would the city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2065 is an ordinance accepting the bid and authorizing an agreement with T Hill Construction for the 2021 on-call roadway maintenance program.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion's been made
Second.
by Alderman Holman, seconded by Alderman Moreland. Discussion. Seeing none. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
and Alderman Bennegus.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4405.
Thank you. We're on item number 10. It's Bill 20-66, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would our city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2066 is an ordinance accepting the bids and authorizing an agreement with the Greenwood Group LLC for the 2021 grounds care program.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Discussion regarding Bill 2066. Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Bennegus,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
and Alderman Weezahan.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4406.
Thank you. Item number 11 on our agenda is Bill 20-67, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would our city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2067 is an ordinance accepting the bid of Corvus Janitorial Services for 2021 custodial services at city-owned buildings and parks, and authorizing a maintenance agreement for same.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
and Alderman Holman.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4407.
Thank you. Item number 12 is Bill 20-68. It too is sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would our city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2068 is an ordinance accepting the bid and authorizing an agreement with Gerstner Electric, Inc. for 2021 traffic signal maintenance and repair.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Like any second?
Second.
It does. Seconded by Alderman Mortland. Discussion. Seeing none. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
and Alderman Fauci.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4408.
Thank you. Item number 13 is Bill 20-69, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would our city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2069 is an ordinance accepting the bid of America's Parking Remarking for the 2021 pavement striping program and authorizing an agreement for same.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
and Alderman Holman.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4409.
Thank you. We're on item number 14, Bill 20-70, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would our city clerk please read the bill for the second time?
Bill number 2070 is an ordinance authorizing a professional services agreement with Horner and Schifrin for construction engineering and material testing for the Topping Road resurfacing and pedestrian improvements project.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Alderman Fauci moves approval. Does it gain a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Hughes. Discussion. Alderman, Mr. Shelton seeking recognition. You want to speak to the oversight of these, of this matter?
Thank you, Mayor. Not necessarily specific to this particular bill, but in general, I just wanted to be sure the board was aware at the recommendation of the Ways and Means Commission that city staff has begun the performance management process for the Topping Road project. We'll be measuring several key metrics, including budget, finances, and schedule. We'll also obviously be working with the Public Works Commission as this project proceeds.
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate the input of the Ways and Means Commission on that. These are significant undertakings. They're extraordinary value propositions for our city, but only if they are bid and administered properly. Alderman Holman is seeking recognition.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question for Mr. Shelton. Mr. Shelton, where will I be able to find that information?
Thank you, Alderman. That is posted on the website under the Public Works and Planning Department, and it has a separate category for projects.
So can we anticipate this type of oversight on all major projects going forward that are impact our entire community and have a large budget?
Yes, going forward, we will be utilizing this performance management process.
Thank you.
Good inquiry. Further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Weezahan.
Aye.
Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Fauci.
Aye.
Alderman Allen.
Aye.
Alderman Holman.
Aye.
Alderman Benegas.
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire.
Aye.
And Alderman Mortland.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4410.
Thank you. We're on item number 15. It's the approval of solid waste licenses. It was continued from our meeting of November 23rd to afford the opportunity for proper public notice and consideration. I'll now entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve those licenses for all three vendors, including American Eagle Waste, Republic Services, and Waste Management. Discussion. Seeing none, all of the opinion that motion should prevail, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any of the contrary opinion, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. We're on item number 16. It's Bill 20-71, sponsored by Alderman Holman, Whitmire, Mortland, and Hughes. Without objection, Order City Clerk, please read that bill for the second time.
Bill number 2071 is an ordinance accepting the bid and authorizing an agreement with Kelp Contracting for the Arlington Oaks Tidewater Stormwater Project.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Alderman Holman, seconded by Alderman Hughes. Discussion. Alderman Whitmire.
Mr. Mayor, just a matter of record, while it appears to be kelp, it's actually kelpie.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that notation. Mr. Shelton, would you please speak to the resident contributions to this project? They've been notable.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As Mr. Randick had cited in his memorandum to you in your packet, this is the first project where the residents have come forward and funded the design work 100%. This helped this project, the stormwater project, move up on the priority list. Also, the residents donated 100% of the easements that were required. So it's a real landmark in our stormwater project where these residents have come forward, funded and oversaw the design work all on their own, and it helped move the project forward.
That's terrific. We have a highly programmed, very methodical system to grade and chart these projects under the leadership of Alderman Holman and others, and the resident contributions were able to bring this project forward on an accelerated basis, and we appreciate that. Further questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Mortland.
Aye.
Alderman Holman.
Aye.
Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
Alderman Fauci.
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire.
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
and Alderman Allen.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4411.
Thank you. We're on item number 17. It's resolution R13, 2020. It's continued from our meeting of November 23rd. It's a resolution acknowledging the desired objective of Bill 20-16 regarding a moratorium on planned development districts has been met, directing staff to take no further action on that item. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Fauci moves approval. Does that gain any second?
Second.
It does by Alderman Allen. Discussion regarding the resolution. Seeing none, all the opinion that motion should prevail, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any of the contrary opinion, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18 on our agenda is also a resolution. It's R14-2020. It was continued from the meeting of November 23rd. It's a resolution authorizing the city administrator to accept a donated public art sculpture, Depth of Form, by Jacob Bermud for a 2-year lease to be installed in front of the Longview Farmhouse in Longview Farm Park. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Alderman Hughes moves approval. Does it gain a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Fauci. Discussion regarding the resolution. Seeing none. Alderman Hughes is seeking recognition.
Okay. The Arts and Culture Commission met the other evening via Zoom, I'm sorry. And the comments were very interesting. I was told that Michelle Francisco would like to make sure that the Board of Aldermen understands that she sat on the committee that worked on the comprehensive plan, and that her purpose was to help create the public art section to serve in regards to public art acceptance. And also stated that the commission wants to keep it pretty general since art is very subjective. And the commission does not want to fine tune the plan any further. And the other members agreed with their thoughts and viewpoints. If the board is looking for something different, then the commission is asking that be more specific as to what you're looking for, and we will proceed.
Further discussion on the resolution before the body. Seeing none. All the opinion that motion should prevail, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any of the contrary opinion, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you all.
Alderman Hughes, I appreciate your remarks. The resolution was unanimously adopted in terms of discussion on a more global master plan for art selection, its criteria, its location, and the like. That is a larger discussion, and the board is welcome to offer you comments for your commission's consideration.
Thank you, Mayor.
We are on item number 19. It's Bill 20-72, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would our city clerk please read that bill for the second time?
Bill number 2072 is an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to execute an addendum to the Fire Protection and Ambulance Service Agreement with West County EMS and Fire Protection District that was originally approved by ordinance number 3963.
Thank you. Without objection, I'm sorry, we got the matter second read. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Alderman Morton,
Second.
approval seconded by Alderman Allen. Discussion regarding Bill 20-72. Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Allen,
Aye.
and Alderman Hughes.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4412.
Thank you. Before I move on, I want to recognize the leadership of Alderman Mortland and Alderman Allen on this very important subject. Their task force gave us great advice and will continue to evaluate the situation. This just affords us the luxury of time and a better environment in which to consider our options. So thank you for your work, and the board will undoubtedly continue its deliberations. We are on the topic of new business. It's item number 20 on our agenda, resolution R15-2020. It's a resolution canceling a scheduled Board of Aldermen meeting, which is our second meeting in December. Now that our budget has been adopted and we head into the holiday season, this is a long-standing tradition of the board to cancel this particular meeting and commence working again in January after the holiday season. I'll entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
So moved.
Alderman Fauci moves,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Allen. Discussion. Seeing none. Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Bennegas.
Just a side comment, Mayor, I've become known somehow to question resolutions with single readings. Since this is such a tradition, I'll waive that questioning.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We respect the intent behind your desire to continue resolutions, supporting the public the opportunity to consider the matter because they are taken up on a single reading, and so I respect what you're trying to do, and that this one is something that I think is anticipated by most, if not all, in the city. Further discussion. Seeing none, all of the opinion that motion should prevail, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those of the contrary opinion should consult with their city clerk, because if they have a contrary opinion, I'd like them to direct it to her. Seeing none. And I don't blame you for not wishing to express that opinion. That motion carries unanimously. We are on item number 21. It's Bill 20-73. It's I could use a sponsor on that, please.
I'd be happy to sponsor that, Mayor.
Alderman
Yeah, we
Fauci,
did too.
Alderman Mortland, others, Weezahan. I've got Fauci
And Allen.
and Allen. Others.
And we're voting on this tonight.
How about we make this as a board of the whole?
Right.
Yes.
Thank you. Bill 20-73, sponsored by the board as a whole. Without objection, would the city clerk please read that bill for the first time?
Bill number 2073 is an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Winning Technologies to provide information technology services on behalf of the city of Town and Country.
Thank you. In light of the cancellation of our second meeting in December and the January 1 start date for this important service contract, I'll entertain a motion to suspend our agenda rules and consider the bill on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Fauci moves suspension, seconded by Alderman Bennegas. Discussion regarding the suspension motion. Seeing none, all the opinion that motion should prevail, please signify by saying aye.
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 Contrary,
Aye.
nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. It has my consent. And now the matter's on second reading. Madam Clerk.
Bill number 2073 is an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with Winning Technologies to provide information technology services on behalf of the city of Town and Country.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Fauci moves approved by Alderman Allen. Discussion regarding bills 20-73. Seeing none, Alderman Whitmire seeking recognition.
Mr. Mayor, I was wondering if we could ask our city administrator to talk a little bit about the process that we went through to select this vendor, especially given the fact that we're doing this on one night.
Thank you, sir. Good inquiry. Mr. Shelton.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the board. The city staff spent a significant amount of time being sure that we had a clear scope of work. All the departments, as well as our current provider, with some assistance from Alderman Mortland and his professional background, wanted to be sure we were very clear in identifying not only what our current situation is, but the scope of work that we expected going forward. So once we had that clear scope, we wanted to allow ample time for the respondents. We had 10 good proposals. Again, the staff analyzed those proposals, narrowed it down, and conducted the interviews. So we're very pleased with the proposal and the discussion that we've had with Winning Technology, obviously their experience with other neighboring municipalities, and the fact that they will be doing some work for our WCDC Dispatch Center, who provides us our internet access, I believe are all key factors in this recommendation.
Is that satisfactory response, Alderman Whitmire?
If I may, just one follow-up question. You could speak to the economics and the competitiveness of this proposal vis-a-vis the others?
Thank you. The price not only for their managed services, but also for the email migration and other services were extremely competitive.
Thank you. Great inquiry. Appreciate your response, your thorough response, Mr. Shelton. As always, further questions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Weezahan,
Aye.
Alderman Mortland,
Aye.
Alderman Holman,
Aye.
Alderman Fauci,
Aye.
Alderman Hughes,
Aye.
Alderman Whitmire,
Aye.
Alderman Benegus,
Aye.
and Alderman Allen.
Aye.
The bill passes unanimously and becomes ordinance number 4413.
Thank you. We're on item number 22. It is Bill 20-74, co-sponsored by Alderman Holman and Alderman Hughes. Without objection, would our city clerk please read that bill for the first time?
Bill number 2074 is an ordinance authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement amendment with St. Louis County regarding the Clayton Road and Ballas Road intersection improvements.
Thank you. Bill number 20-74 is continued to our meeting of Monday, January 11th for a second reading and consideration. Item number 23 is Bill 20-75. It's sponsored by Alderman Allen. And without objection, would our city clerk please read that bill for the first time?
Bill number 2075 is an ordinance accepting the proposal of Danziger and Markoff LLP to provide successive GASB 75 actuarial services for other post-employment benefits for retirees.
Thank you. Bill 20-75 is continued the meeting of Monday, January 11, 2021 for the second reading and consideration. Item number 24 is a resolution. It's R16 20-20. I'm sorry. R16-2020. I guess I had it right. A resolution asking the county executive of St. Louis County to take action regarding COVID-19 orders. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved.
Alderman Whitmire moves approval, seconded by
Second.
Alderman Benegus. Before I open the floor for discussion, I'd like our city clerk to please read the letter comment we received in response to this matter.
Mayor, I previously distributed it, so I was planning on just entering it. If you'd like me to read it in full,
Right.
I can.
You're right.
Okay.
Very fine, noting the record for purposes of the record.
Yes, that one email I'll be entering is from Brunilda Perez. It's consisting of one page regarding this specific agenda item, and it will be attached to the minutes.
Thank you. Now discussion regarding resolution 16-2020. Alderman Whitmire.
Yeah, I'd like to speak in favor of the resolution, Mayor. It will be many months before we can vaccinate our population. we will be living with these guidelines and orders and their consequences for another 6 to 12 months, maybe longer. The current county executive guidelines focus on reducing COVID infections, hospitalizations, and deaths, which are all wonderful things. Unfortunately, our government is ignoring the behavioral and mental health issues, the spiritual and religious welfare of our citizens, as well as the economic health of our citizens, all of which are in severe decline. The incidence of depression and suicide have leaped an order of magnitude. Religious congregations of all kinds are suffering, and many of our small businesses, especially those in the hospitality industries, are being bankrupted. Entire generations of work and investment are just evaporating. This disease is far less deadly than we thought back in March, and the deaths are more concentrated by age and pre-existing condition. The fatality rate for the disease is far lower than originally estimated. The vast majority of fatalities for this disease in Missouri have been people aged 60 or older, like me. And the vast majority of these people have been aged 70 or older, not like me yet. 90% of all the fatalities nationwide show a comorbidity factor due to a pre-existing condition. So this resolution is written quite broadly, and as a result, some folks object to it. But the point of doing it so broadly is that it is not prescriptive. Certainly, there are parts of the current orders that would be helpful for the vulnerable. Those orders can and should be continued. The key is to focus on protecting the vulnerable while freeing those that are not vulnerable and addressing some of these other issues that we are not.
Thank you, Alderman Whitmire. I appreciate your passion and commitment to this issue. You have stated your position very clearly, and I'll entertain further comment. Alderman Weezan.
Thank you, Mayor. I also support this resolution. I've witnessed the effects of COVID, not personally, but through my position outside of the city. But I also understand the importance of operating a business. And while I'm hopeful that this vaccine works, ironically today is the first day we've had it in the United States, but we don't know. I mean, and it's the same hope that I have moving forward with this resolution, that we don't know if it will make a significant change, but I'm hopeful that it will. I'm hopeful that it shows that as a city we do take high regard of the safety, but also of I'm hopeful for a proactive nature of addressing this. Right now we do see the restaurants and the hospitality industry kind of under the scrutiny of it. And as Alderman Whitmire mentioned, it's been since March that these orders have been put in place. And my concern is that while there's some that may be effective, it was a significant difference in situation when all these were put in place. However, they're being utilized to target different areas right now, and they're not being used in the same nature as they were when they were originally put in. It doesn't mean that I think that they're obsolete. I think that I'm hopeful that they would be addressed and updated if needed to address it as we see it fit right now.
Thank you, sir. Further discussion. Alderman Hughes.
As I mentioned during our work session, I had an idea for how the city might be able to work with local restaurants. And before I make my comments, I want to applaud Alderman Whitmire's concern for the financial well-being of our local restaurants. I don't think this is something that we can ignore. So since I've had some time on my hands lately, I did a little research of how other cities are handling this. And I'd like to reference Frankfurt, Germany, actually. part of their economic support program that they have, the city is promoting local shops with a campaign of posters, print, and online ads to advertise local businesses and restaurants, or to encourage, these are their words, citizens to take advantage of numerous delivery options for food. And the aim is to get citizens and guests to support local businesses. Again, their verbiage. So I'm going to propose that the city consider being proactive on this topic. And excuse me, perhaps if we did a campaign of carry out and carry on, the city could post a list of our local restaurants online, and we could provide links for residents to order, and the city could ask residents to submit pictures when their families are enjoying their meals. And they could instead, and then in the pictures, instead of just saying, yes, they support the local restaurants, they could hold up a fork. And we could become kind of known for that. And also, as it was mentioned earlier, to work with the local Chamber of Commerce to highlight other aspects of how to get more individuals, citizens involved in this process. We could highlight upcoming holidays. Residents could basically highlight, like everyone wears something green for St. Patrick's Day when they're dining out, when they've ordered out. I'm going to predict and I'm going to project that this would be at least a 6-month initiative. And so I'm just putting that out there as something to try and be proactive. It'd be carry out and carry on. So those are some thoughts.
Thank you, Alderman. Appreciate your observations and suggestions. Further discussion regarding the resolutions before the body. Alderman Fauci.
Thank you, Mayor. So I, applaud Alderman Whitmire. I think that you and I have had many in-depth conversations about this issue. My concern with this resolution is how general the language is. I'm not sure that we want to send something forward that says we want to remove all of the current guidelines and orders. But I do think that saying something like the previous discussions we've had, getting the county council more involved in the executive's decision-making process would be positive. But I find it very difficult to support something that is so general and so broad as to be able to be interpreted in almost any manner. So I'm a little bit challenged by that.
Thank you, Alderman. Further discussion. See, Alderman Moreland.
So I echo Alderman Fauci's sentiments. The intent is correct. It's with the vagueness, will it have the outcome that we need for the businesses to help them? And then the last question I'd have for Alderman Whitmire is: are you intending to continue this, or is this going through tonight?
There's no continuance motion before the body, although
Okay.
certainly we could recognize one.
Okay.
Floor is open for debate. All of the opinion, Alderman Allen seeking recognition.
Okay, a comment, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to speak. I am in support of this, though, and we did talk much earlier about something stronger and into more detail. Basically, to me, it comes down, you cannot legislate or mandate common sense, healthy behaviors. It's up to individuals. And I wish I felt more positive what we can do, but we have to keep trying and communicating with Council Member Fitch, who is our council, I believe, most for Town and Country. So I applaud Alderman Whitmire's efforts, and, we keep trying. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Further debate? Seeing none, all of the opinion the motion should prevail, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any of
Aye.
the contrary opinion, nay.
Nay.
The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion carries. Further, we're on item number 25. That's our warrant list. It's in the amount of $409,919.61. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Alderman Allen moves approval. Does that gain a second?
Second.
It does by Alderman Fauci. Discussion regarding the warrant list. Seeing none, all of the opinion that motion should prevail, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any of the contrary opinion, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Bennegus moves adjournment, seconded by Alderman Hughes. All of the opinion that motion should prevail, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any of the contrary opinion, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. Before I bang the gavel and dismiss the board, I want to thank Mr. Shelton, Ms. McNamara, Ms. Wright, Ms. Nixon. Where's our planning director? I think he's left us now, but all of our staff, Chief Cavens for sure, all of our staff. There's Mr. Randick. My screen ebbs and flows a little bit. We are blessed to have this team of professionals serving us. Under Ms. Wright's direction, we passed a budget this evening, which was no easy task. Every question that was asked regarding contract selection, performance, evaluation, so on and so forth, was thoroughly answered by Mr. Shelton to everyone's satisfaction. That's because this staff does the right things the right ways for all of our benefits. We are ably served by our legal counsel for decades, and he is here with us this evening. So Chief Cavens, to you, the men and women of the Town and Country Police Department, thank you. Mr. Shelton, everybody that runs this city day in and day out, you have my deep appreciation, and that I know of the Board of Aldermen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone, please be safe out there. Enjoy a wonderful holiday season with family and socially distant friends. I'm very pleased to close 2020 with success in the city of Town and Country, and best wishes for all. Good evening.